Today I am going to share with you how I shop at the grocery store. This was a subscriber request. We're going to talk about healthy nutrition, how to avoid getting ripped off, some of the marketing techniques that superstores use to get you to buy more, as well as some of the things that I like to eat to stay healthy and hopefully muscular. So make sure that you have your reusable shopping bags because eco-friendly first, and let's start doing the perimeter of the store. Always shop the perimeter of the store first, and the reason why is because that's where all of the healthy food is located. If you ever notice, all of the chips, the sodas, the candies are always in the aisle in the middle, and you kind of have to walk through them in order to get to the essentials, such as your milks or some of the meats that people buy, or even some of the fruits and veggies. So always shop the perimeter first, and then you can do the aisles on the inside. For myself, I love bananas, and not only are they delicious and nutritious, but if they start to go brown, you can actually freeze them and turn them into ice cream. I call it banana ice cream, and the way the sugars in bananas actually work is that the cellulose or the fiber starts to break down, so they get this really creamy texture when you blend them, and they actually become sweeter when frozen. So these are a staple for me. Did you know that baby carrots are actually just big carrots cut up into smaller pieces? I also eat hummus almost every single day. I have some sort of garbanzo bean in my diet without fail, and carrots are one of my favorite things to eat along with that hummus. Another staple of mine are little mushrooms. They are really, really rich in vitamin D. Every single cell in our body has a vitamin D receptor, so it's super important. Your body does synthesize it from the sun, but you can also get a little from your nutrition. And fun fact, did you know that portobello mushrooms and little baby mushrooms are exactly the same? One is just super grown up. Didn't know that until I read How Not to Die by Dr. Greger. Fascinating, right? Also, as a vegan, I'm always trying to get my tofu and my protein in. You can usually find the tofu type stuff in the fresh area, so again, along with all the produce. You really have to try different things and decide on what you like. You can also find some stuff in the frozen aisles, but stuff like this is great to add to smoothies. You can also cut it up, bake it, stir fry it, whatever you like. Or you can get replacements like this, such as sausages or such as burgers. And literally for anyone who's trying to go more plant-based for your health, the animals, or for the environment, look at what you eat currently and literally just find vegan replacements. It's that simple. Fun watermelon hack. If you actually tap on them, the one that sounds the most hollow means it's the ripest. So if you see this bitch in the grocery store tapping on watermelons, lemons are super fantastic. They are really beneficial for the body. They have lots of vitamins, lots of nutrients, and they're considered detoxing. Now the truth is, if you have a liver, you don't need a detox. Your liver does it for you, and detoxing is one of the biggest BS things out there in the beauty industry. But the closest thing you are going to get to detoxing are lemons and fresh fruits and fresh veggies. So stock up. This is cacao powder. This is one of my favorites. It is essentially chocolate, but without the sugar. I have a smoothie almost every single day. I start my day off with a chocolate smoothie. I use those bananas and I use this along with some vegan protein powder. It is my favorite. And this one happens to be fair trade, organic, and eco-friendly. So this is the one that I get. These are some of the kind of dried fruits and stuff. Technically, banana chips are made from bananas, but what do you think is going to be healthier? This or the actual banana? If you have the choice, go for the fruit or the vegetable in its natural form. These are all of our beautiful organic greens, and I am not an organic snob. I really don't care if it's organic or not. Sometimes organic does have higher levels of antioxidants or nutrients, and although I care about it in my skincare, for my diet, it's not essential. You will find more fresh items in the organic section, and usually they're going to have less packaging. For example, this has a lot less packaging than the spinach or the collard greens that you're going to get that are wrapped inside of plastic. Spinach. Espinaca. ¿Dónde está mi espinaca? Also, I have a challenge for you. Most people, when they go to the grocery store, they buy the same 8 vegetables over and over and over again. I challenge you to try to buy 2 or 3 things that you've never tried before. Have you ever had raw beets on a salad? Have you ever baked them? Have you ever had certain Brussels sprouts or some of these interesting, more colorful greens? Try switching it up because it's better for your body and you might find something that you really like. When it comes to milk, I really think that everyone should be drinking non-dairy. It's better for your body, better for the environment, and it's better for the animals. When it comes to what brands you like, it really depends on what you're using it for. I like to drink chai tea. It's a very Punjabi style tea that is usually made with very thick milk. And for that, I'm gonna need something that is thicker and more viscous. Trader Joe's has a good one. This Calafia is delicious and it has that creamy consistency and that texture. But if you're looking for something that is just smooth or has a little bit more protein comparable to milk, if not better than regular milk, this is a really great option. This is from Silk. Is also another really great creamy option for either Indian or Punjabi cha, or you can also use this in coffee, which is super delicious. And then lastly, if you're used to having some sort of a sweet sugary cereal in the morning, or you just grew up drinking a glass of milk a day, something like this that's coconut might give a little bit of that coconut flavor, but have a very runny consistency, almost like skim milk. And if you really love creamer, guess what? You've got options for that too.
Shh, don't tell the other non-dairy beverages, but you're my favorite.
Again, if you're trying to go more plant-based, just think, what is it that I currently use that comes from an animal, and get the vegetarian vegan substitute. This right here is Earth Balance. These are some buttery sticks. This is literally the exact same thing as butter. So if you use butter in your cooking, go for this instead. This is a California specialty. It's actually made in the Bay Area. Kite Hill cream cheese. If you ever have the option to try this, please do. It is the most delicious thing. You can put it on bagels, you can put it on crackers, you can put it on a spoon and put it in your mouth. It is phenomenal. It's made from almonds and they actually have a jalapeno flavor that I think they're sold out of. But you know what I like best. As you can see, now that we're kind of inside the store, you see how we have a lot more of the packaged or processed foods. Again, they put this kind of stuff in the middle to get you to try to pick it up, but the truth is that shopping the perimeter is going to be the healthiest for your belly, for your body, and for your beauty, technically, because your skin uses food to regenerate its cells. The frozen aisle is really one of my friends. I grew up kind of eating microwave food because, I don't know, as a 90s kid, that's just kind of what we did, those TV dinners. And as I've gotten older and life has gotten busier and I have taxes and school and jobs and friends and things to do, I don't always have the time to cook fresh food. One of the biggest hacks that I can recommend to you is get some frozen mixed veggies and some sort of a vegan meat. You can throw this on a skillet, just add some sauce and be done in 5 to 10 minutes. Best adulting hack I could ever recommend. This is usually the cheapest brand, so that's what I go for. The good thing about frozen vegetables is that they're usually packed at their peak freshness, so you always get a good deal. Also, I'm not gonna leave this open, so I'm just gonna grab what I need and save the environment. Here are the vegan meats. Two of my favorite brands would be Gardein as well as Beyond Meat. These are delicious, and my friends and family that aren't vegan like them just as much. Try to get them on sale when you can. This right here is a perfect example. A package of the crispy chicken from Gardein, some fresh Ultimate Southwest vegetables, and literally throw some salsa and some of that vegan cream cheese on here, and you have yourself a Mexican dish. Put this in a tortilla, 5-10 minutes, nutritionally balanced adulting. Done. This is a brand called Amy's that I also like. They're here in the Bay Area too. They do have some gluten-free and some vegan options, but not everything is vegan, so just keep that in mind. These also tend to be a little bit more expensive, but I do go for some of these sometimes if I'm really feeling like I need a microwave throwback. And very lastly, the world is finally progressing and we do have some Daya pizzas. Daya is a brand of cheese I believe they started with, but they do have these vegan pepperoni pizzas. Now, total honesty, their cheese is not the most convincing, but it is a good first step. And if you're trying to be a little bit healthier or a little bit more eco-conscious, this is a good way to do so. Frozen fruit is another one of my little favorite hacks. When you eat frozen fruit, it kind of tastes like fruity sorbet or fruity ice cream, but it doesn't have the processed sugar. It has fructose, the natural fruit sugar, but it's bound to antioxidants and fiber, so your body digests it and uses it more efficiently. Frozen fruit is inexpensive. Again, it was picked and frozen at its peak freshness, and if you're trying to kick a sweet tooth or trying to kick a craving or get off the really unhealthy desserts, frozen fruit might just be the thing for you, so highly recommend it. I also know that a lot of people like to buy these cereals and these breakfast items. Sometimes it's hard to choose healthy items. You don't know what's going to be better than something else. What I can recommend to you is if it looks like it came out of a box, it's probably less healthy than something that looks like it came out of the ground. So if you have a choice, ask yourself, does this look like it came from the plant, from the earth, or does it look like it was processed in some sort of way? And generally speaking, the less processed is going to be a better bet. You want to do a speed round? Let's try it. As an example, which one of these do you think is going to be a healthier option? Looks a little bit more like the earth, whereas this seems a little bit more processed, right? Here's an organic granola bar versus some cranberry granola. I'm still gonna bet that this has a ton of added sugar in it, but which one do you think looks more like it came from nature? This one's probably going to digest better in your system and give you some more nutrients, whereas this one probably digests pretty fast and give you a nice blood sugar spike. Which of these do you think is going to be less processed? This one's kind of a trick question because they're both in cans, but the beans look a lot more natural than the SpaghettiOs. So this is probably going to be the healthier choice. Also, garbanzo beans, man. Cholet. What are we talking? So right here are spices and seasonings. And something that I don't think a lot of people know is that some dried spices and seasonings actually have the highest levels of antioxidants. For instance, cloves and cinnamons have some of the highest antioxidant levels you can possibly get, even more so than fresh fruits or fresh vegetables. So adding a little bit of cinnamon or adding some spice like parsley to a meal can be a really great way to boost up those antioxidant levels. Additionally, turmeric, which is used in a lot of Indian cooking, is delicious. You can put it on your face as a face mask. It will stain you yellow for a couple days though, but it's also a very potent antioxidant. Really good for digestion and your body's overall health. These are my favorite, and I'm so happy that Safeway now has them. This is Bonza pasta, and it's made from chickpeas. The ingredients are literally chickpeas, tapioca, pea protein, and xanthan gum, which you might have seen in your skincare. Super amazing. They digest so well in the body, and if you're allergic to gluten, or if you're avoiding gluten or avoiding wheat, an amazing choice, high in protein, vegan, vegetarian, and they're only $2.99. This is what's called blocking or facing. Do you see how this entire shelf, top to bottom, is this one brand? Food brands actually pay money to be at eye level. In marketing and in business, eye level is buy level. So they actually have to pay a premium to be right here, which is kind of interesting. And if you actually look towards the top of the shelves are where you're usually going to find more specialty items, more local or more handmade items, or those that can't afford to pay the expensive prices being right down here. So just keep in mind the psychology of how grocery stores are set up to make you shop when you're shopping so that you can make choices that you actually want to, as opposed to the choices that the manufacturers want you to make. Eye level is buy level. This is definitely not a health food. This is a guilty pleasure, but I want to use this as an example for you of how to read some of these labels. A lot of people turn over their foods and they just look for calories. They're like, okay, well, how many calories is this going to be? That's really not a good gauge of nutrition. If you're trying to be cognizant of your carbohydrate intake, what you want to look for is fiber versus sugar. Fiber is insoluble, meaning our gut does not break it down. It cleans out and it moves through us. But it has to be labeled as a carbohydrate on these nutrition labels. So a lot of people see like, oh, 48 grams of carbs, and they start freaking out. A lot of that could be insoluble fiber that your body doesn't even digest. Super healthy for you, and it's actually a prebiotic, so that it helps your probiotics grow and your good bacteria flourish. But a lot of people are scared of them. Don't be afraid. If you're really worried about the carbohydrates, just make sure that the fiber is more than the sugar. So more fiber than sugar, the total carbohydrate number is not as important. Again, if you have diabetes or something, of course, talk to a doctor. Not a nutritionist here, and this is not supposed to be a replacement for medical advice. But the way that I shop the store is for looking for those two numbers and making sure that I make adequate choices that match my body's health and needs. And again, you should not be afraid of a specific nutrient or demonize a nutrient. People used to demonize fat, then they were demonizing sugar, and then there was some demonization of proteins. Our body needs these all in different balances, and it depends on your lifestyle as well. So turn to learn, get comfy with those nutrition labels, and choose the ones that are right for you. Very lastly, I'm gonna grab some salsas and some hummus. My favorite place to get these kind of things are at Trader Joe's. They have some really good stir-fry sauces, but I'm here at Safeway. These are usually just what I pick up. Something that I can throw into crackers, dip, put on sandwiches. I can actually blend hummus or even peanut butter and mango and make some sort of a sauce. You can make pasta sauce, whatever it is you want. But if you're looking for something quick, these hard plastics are recyclable, and so you can pick some of these up and whip together a quick meal in your kitchen. Recognize this from your skincare labels? Huh? Have you been reading? Anyone recognize this? Anyone recognize this from your skincare labels? Niacinamide, anybody? All those B vitamins. These right here are called the end caps. A lot of people think that these are sale items or promotional items. Really what they are new items. This is expensive placement. So the brands that are here are basically trying to sell the new or the trendy item. So sometimes you might notice that your favorites alternate, like one week it'll be Coke, next it'll be Pepsi. One week it'll be Frito-Lay, the next week it'll be Tostitos. Don't be afraid, you can probably still find your favorite down that aisle, but keep in mind that these are placed for you to see. They're called end caps, they're to sell. And they're probably not there for your nutritional or for your wallet's benefit. They're there to get you to buy them. When it comes to shopping the grocery store, these are the things that I look for or the things that I do to keep my body healthy and happy. The way that I shop the perimeter and what I look for. Now, if you want to know what I actually eat in a day, there's a whole playlist here. And if you like the nutritional science of this video, you can get more of that right here. Subscribe and hit the ding dong notification bell so you don't miss new videos. And always remember to be beautiful inside and out. Love you guys. Bye.